Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. Once again, we are here to discuss a classic toy. So, when I say classic, it's a blast from the past, something from the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen movie of 2009. We have the Human Alliance Bumblebee figure. So this class of Transformers toys is a breed of their own with regards to the size and the play factor that has been in concept in the production of these Human Alliance toys. With regards to size, they are actually a cross between a Voyager class figure and a Leader class figure. It's too small for a Leader class figure, but it's too big for a Voyager class. So that's why I called it a class of its own, because it's a in-between or a mix of the two Transformers line of toys. The Human Alliance toy line is the only Transformers toy line in the expanded toy line of Baver's action figures for Transformers that includes a pilot or a human driver to interact with the robot, Transformers robot, in vehicle or in alternate form. So for example, with this Bumblebee figure, we have some with Wiki interacting with the robot form of Bumblebee, and it could also pose as a driver in the alternate Camaro mode of Bumblebee, which is a 2009 Chevy Camaro. So this actually is quite a pricey toy back then, because the MSRP for these guys, not only Bumblebee, but we also had Barricade and some other Transformers characters, would sell for $35. So the figure that we have here actually is not my first Human Alliance Bumblebee figure. This figure I bought second-hand or pre-loved. The first figure I have actually is in the Philippines, and I already done modifications to it. So the things that I did to the figure was a custom paint job, and second was a hand inclusion, because as for the right forearm, you could see that it is a fixed cannon. So right out of the box, this figure only has a left hand. So I wanted a right hand for the figure, something that he could have a transforming cannon and at the same time a right hand. So what I did was to buy another Bumblebee figure, a Human Alliance one, and use it for parts. So I took the left hand, modded it, and just inserted it to the left forearm. So the one I had in the Philippines had a left hand over here, and I could just fold this cannon to the side of the forearm. The second thing that I did to that Bumblebee vehicle, aside from the custom paint job, was to configure the legs, because right out of the box, the wheels would be on the inner part. So the thing that I did to configure the Transformers figure was to take it apart at the hip, because we have two pins over here. We just unscrew them and then reassemble the legs by swapping out the legs from inner to outer, and then reassembling the hip, and there you go. But at the same time, still maintaining that transformation level. You just have to rotate the legs from the hip area to configure it to vehicle mode. It still is doable. So when I bought this second hand and transformed it, immediately what I did was a leg swap because I already did it with the figure I had in the Philippines. But as for adding a hand for this figure, I still have to find a second Bumblebee figure to do a custom with this or the other one, because this one that I've got from a toy store or a second-hand toy store that is near my place actually is already has been really played with, so some joints are loose, and but still the overall figure still is in good condition. So just a little repairs here and there, not really major ones, a little bit of tightening the joints, and we're good to go. So it would feel like just like brand new. So looks like and feels like the Bumblebee figure that I had in the Philippines. But the one I had in the Philippines was really customized with all the bling that I could possibly want and have. The extra hand, the correct the leg function, and some other things that would really make the figure pop. So I really miss that figure, and someday if it's okay to travel back home, then I would really be taking that figure here to the US. So just hoping and wishing that things would go better. But for the meantime, when I saw this figure at the store, even it was second hand and had some issues that the seller told me that the joints are quite loose and needs fixing, I still grabbed on to this figure because I knew that this is a really good figure, so something that is good to add to your collection. Because actually I don't have the Bumblebee figure, but I have the Barricade figure, which also I would be reviewing in this channel. So let's discuss the other things that are good or the gimmicks with this toy. So we have Bumblebee in battle mode. So the first gimmick in the Human Alliance line would be a gunner's chair. So this over here. But I don't think that Bumblebee would want some to take control of his left arm while he is doing battle with his right arm. This figure also has a mask which could be pulled down to cover the face, and a cannon at the back of the vehicle mode, which could be flipped up to serve as an anti-aircraft cannon. So with this kind of gimmick, some firing these dual cannons with the left forearm, I don't think that is a good gimmick, and something that is not realistic actually. So but for a toy, something for gimmick, then it's still kind of good. But if you're a serious toy collector, well, it's something that is not realistic. So I would rather just have some doing another thing, something like hiding or cowering behind a rock while I fight off Decepticons. The other Human Alliance gimmick, aside from the one that I showed earlier, the gunner's chair, is to have some man a portable rocket launcher from the shoulders of Bumblebee while Bumblebee fights off Decepticons. So we have a pad over here where Sam could rest his foot on while he could shoulder or fire the portable cannon system, the portable rocket system over here. But I don't think that is still a good idea to be holding on to a robot while this big guy moves around like crazy, and at the same time you have a moving turret over here, and this thing moves side to side, which you could possibly shoot off the head of some Witwiki. So still not a good idea for a weapons platform, but for a gimmick for a toy, well, good job Hasbro. But for realism, I just don't add this some Witwiki figure. I just want to have a rocket system and this anti-aircraft cannon over the back of Bumblebee while he is in battle mode. Also in robot mode, the other thing that I also like about this figure is it has waist rotation. Well, it is also due to transformation, but it's nice to have that thing available for a transforming figure, which other transformers are lacking with. Now in my version, if you do this, actually the original transformation method is to have the tires on the back side near the door, but that exposes a lot of the internal parts which are just way too hollow. So in the Philippines, when I was playing with my Bumblebee toy, the thing that I would do was just to cover that space in by tucking the tire in this way. Well, it's just personal preference, but that's how I do or display my Human Alliance Bumblebee figure. So that way, as you could see, there's just little gaps that is visible when the figure is displayed, so which gives him heft or bulk. So let's take a look at the vehicle form. So we have the alternate form of Human Alliance Bumblebee. So this is a 2009 Chevy Camaro. So because of Bumblebee, Camaro sales during that time spiked up, especially in this color configuration. Now it is understandable that because this is a transforming toy, that we would see a lot of the panel lines on the vehicle, which is involved in the actual transformation of the Chevy Camaro into Bumblebee. This vehicle form measures at around 7 inches and a width of about 2.5 and a height of 2 inches. So it is almost 1:24 scale representation of a Chevy Camaro. And look at the gorgeous details despite of the panel lining which are visible because of transformation. It is still a gorgeous looking vehicle mode. And just like the one that I had in the Philippines, it still suffers from this thing. So still reminds me of the toy that I had back home. If there is one thing that the Human Alliance Summit Wiki figure is good at, it would be as a pilot or a driver or sidekick for Bumblebee in vehicle mode. The other gimmick or configuration in robot mode, I won't go for that. But as a driver of Bumblebee, having some Witwiki on the driver's side, it's really a gorgeous sight for a transforming toy even if we have a lot of broken lines on the said vehicle. So whoever is watching this, if you have this figure in your collection, do comment on the comment section and share your thoughts regarding this Human Alliance toy. So this is once again a review from Laruan ni Obi-Wan. See you on the next video.